Oh boy. Oh, did stuff happen? All right. Okay. So he got the building. But there's a big but here because there's a lot of red flags. Guys, this $10,000 and this is for 190 like 93,000 and it was purchased previously for 160. Where's it at? Doesn't even it has it over here. Initially it was 60,000, then 175, then 165,000. And then RE plat for $0? The heck? And then from RE plat to $0 to a 10,000 with a 3C quit claim deed? Huh? Let's look at that. I wanted to know what the hell does RE plat mean? Real property replat. It's a legal process where the boundaries of existing lots within a recorded subdivision are changed. Here's why you might see this code. Combining lots, where if you, a previous owner, owned two side-by-side lots, filled paperwork, turn them in with a single larger parcel, resulting in a deed record being labeled as a replat. That looks like what happened, right? Shifting lot lines. If neighbors agree to move shared fence line or boundary slightly, the county requires a replat to update the subdivision. And then subdividing even further, if a single large plot subdivision is split into two or more smaller lots, it's also called a replat. Well, the map here doesn't reflect that. So if you see this is the property. That replat doesn't show why this thing got replatted. So why does it matter? It's a legal description. You'll see RP replat, auto description, deed, field type. It signals that the original map of the neighborhood has been officially amended. Then tax records. This is for the auditor uses this code to track when the property's physical boundaries changed, which can lead to a change in the assessed value or a new parcel ID number, which it didn't change. So it's not that. Title searches. If you're buying or selling a home, the title companies look for replats to ensure they're describing the correct recent boundaries of the land. So maybe there have been things that have changed over time around that neighborhood that they had to go and restructure, revise, and let the recorder analyze it. So that way they can say, yes, this matches what the actual taxes on the tax map has. We're just verifying that tax map. That's pretty much what I gathered from it. But still doesn't make sense what happened here. So I want to know what a 3C quit claim deed is. So it represents a type of property transfer. It's like while price gap like the one you're seeing, 10,000 sale versus 93,000 value is common, it does carry risks that you should understand. So what does it mean? Well, they use this code to identify the transfer is involving a quit claim deed. A quit claim deed is a as-is transfer. It means the seller is giving whatever interest they have in the property, but they are not guaranteeing that they own it outright or that the title is clear. Unlike a warranty deed, which in the past, let's see all the other ones, they were all was it 1C, I think? They were all warranties, every single one that had happened in the last like 30 years up until this most recent one. So this provides zero protection against hidden liens, back taxes, or other people claiming they own the land. Meaning, if somebody else comes around and says, this is mine, dude's out of a freaking property. That's all it is. Because he didn't guarantee the land. So, is the $10,000 price a red flag? Roughly 10% of the auditor's value is definitely a deviation from market norms, but it isn't always a scam. It usually happens for one of the following reasons. Non-arm's length transaction. Most common reason is to transfer between family members, business partners, or an individual to their own LLC. The 10,000 might just be a token amount or a buyout of one person's share. Significant property distress. This sounds interesting. If the house or commercial building is stripped, has severe structural issues, or is a hoarder house, the auditor's site might still show a high value based on neighborhood averages, but the actual physical condition might be worth $10,000. There was fire damage on it, and it's going to need a lot of repairs. Hidden liabilities. This is the real red flag, because the quick claim deed, the buyer might be buying $10,000 cash, but inheriting about $8,000 of debt. He's inheriting about $500,000. Mortgages, IRS liens, or years of delinquent property taxes. In this case, the buyer is essentially paying the full value, just not all to the seller. So there is a hidden cost to this property that DJ is not aware of, and his dumbass jumped on this. It's very bad. And then there's a summary table here talking about what's good versus what's not, which you don't want to do this. Quick claim deeds, you don't ever want to do those. So, yeah, okay. You think I'm like tripping because he got the building? No. I was shocked at the fact that they actually recorded it for $10,000 on there when it's worth $93,000. That's the shocking part. And the other part is we already know that building has severe structural damage, and the fact that they actually went through and like this dude like thought it was a good idea to get this property, like, and he should have seen a lawyer. He should have consulted a lawyer. You like, what's gonna be funny is watching this play out, because there's no way dude's gonna get what he thinks he's gonna get out of it by him saying he's gonna apply for grants or loans. Dude, no bank's gonna give you a loan. You have no business plan. You got no business model. You have nothing bringing to the table. You're making $0.00. You have nothing to say that this is going to be a profitable business for any banks who want to give you some. And then grants, no government's going to give you a grant, because they've been tightening up grants as of recent. Okay, like no government, no state, local government, it's not going to just give you a grant. You have to have been established as a legitimate business for quite some time and say that you just need something to build up. Bro, no, that's not how that works. You're not a nonprofit. You can get grants if you're a nonprofit. You're a for-profit, like, supposed business, and you don't even have like a name. Like, what is your business about? Because you're talking about barber shops, salons. Like, bro, what are you doing? Are you a leasing office? Like, you're just gonna lease your land out to others? Because that's what it's sounding you're doing. You're gonna lease everything out. There's no nightclub gonna happen, like, because you need $300,000 right up front, and then you said, 160 is covered for. Well, it's not. There's no guarantee you're gonna get that escrow. That escrow is tied up to the fire marshal. You have to do good faith structuring and actually file for the permits for the plumbing and also for all the water that's going to flow through. You got to lay the pipes down. You have to get the water department involved, and then you have to have the fire marshal involved to check it. Dude, that's not going to work the way you think. That's not going to work in your favor. Not at all. So, yeah, okay, he got the building. Wow. But we're going to look at what his real cost is going to be. What I'm doing here is asking Gemini if I can repair a commercial building using grants in Youngstown, Ohio. So now there's several grants that you can apply for financial incentives to repair a commercial building in Youngstown, Ohio. The city and state offer programs specifically designed to revitalize the local economy and improve the appearance. That's appearance. So they'll do a 50-50 match. You need to invest in order to get it back. They'll do window replacement, siding. This is exterior stuff. No, they won't work. This won't work. So there's local loan programs. Grants are often paired with low interest to cover full cost of repairs. Youngstown Revolving Loan Fund provides gap financing for small businesses to help them grow and maintain their properties. This is not going to work in his favor. He needs $300,000, and this just says low interest loans, which it doesn't seem like they're going to cover that. Valley Economic Development Partners, they work with government agencies to provide specialized loan programs for commercial property owners in the Mahoning Valley. Community Reinvestment Area Tax Abatement. While not a check in the mail, this gives you a significant amount of money over time. Commercial remodeling, you spend $5,000 remodeling, you apply up for abatement for up to 12 years. Stops your property tax from increasing based on the value of improvements. I don't see him being able to do this because, like, where's all this capital going to come from, right? Yeah, you could apply for these grants, but these are external ones. Like, okay, so, okay, now I have a commercial building that had fire damage, and one of the requirements from the fire marshal is that I install a fire suppression system in the building. What does that cost? And can I apply for grants to help pay for this? All right. Now, with all the info, I just fed it another more info. All right. So, installing fire suppression system in a commercial building is a significant investment, and especially for retrofitting an existing structure after fire damage. In Youngstown, Ohio, costs are primarily driven by the building size and the type of system required. All right. For a retrofit in an existing commercial building, you should budget between $2 to $7 per square foot. Now, how many square footage is this? Wait a second. It says it's 0.00880 acres. So let's convert that. So 3,800, 3.28 square foot. All right. And we'll do by the high end because we need to always overestimate $7. So 26K. All right. If your building is a high rise or historical status, that rises to $10. Okay. Or more. All right. So let's go ahead and do that for $10 now, which is 38,000. Then you have the wet pipe systems, which would be $150 to $3, and then dry pipe, which is $390 to $650, and then specialized systems for kitchens or data centers, which are different. Those were always going to cost more because those are data centers. Financial assistance and grants. While direct free grants for private commercial fire systems are rare, there are several programs in Youngstown, Ohio that significantly lower your costs. So SBA mitigation assistance, disaster loan. Since your building suffered fire damage, you may be eligible for a SBA disaster loan. The benefit, you can increase your loan by up to 20% for mitigation projects. And how it works, these are low interest loans for repayment up to 30 years. It's like getting a mortgage. You might as well have bought the building for $30,000. Youngstown facade remodeling incentives, but again, that's just beautification projects on the outside. This is not talking about internal structural damage. And then the federal tax incentives, and then you got specialized subsystem components that you have to purchase. Depending on commercial specific requirements, if you have a commercial kitchen or a chemical storage, you may need specific equipment. All right. So you're looking at 40,000 roughly. Okay. And then there's the buying of the equipment and stuff, and then the liquor license. All right. This building has a basement that was a night club and bar. The square footage is how much is a liquor license in Youngstown. So now, all right. Youngstown liquor license and a bar for a nightclub managed in Division Ohio Liquor. Your building is roughly 3,800 square feet. You fall in the size range that's qualified for an exempt permit. But generally, you'll be looking at standard retail permit classes. So, liquor license costs. So, to operate full service bar, D5 nightclub full bar. This standard permit for a nightclub allows the sale of beer and wine until 2:30 a.m. Costs approximately $2,300, and you have to pay a annual fee. So we have 2,800 plus so we'll put it at 2,800 even, right? And then we'll overestimate this to 38.5. So you're looking at 50,000 roughly, a little bit under 46. But we'll overestimate 50,000. And then, all right, now this building will need to have a bathroom set up for unisex, no, not unisex, for men and women separated. Separate. We need to have separate. Have a separate men and women, multiple persons per multiple person needed, minimum 4 each. How much? All right, so we're at like roughly 50K. Get everything set up. All right. So it can go from as high as 45. We'll take the high end. So we got 45,000 for the labor and plumbing. You got 12,000 for that, and then you got 8,000. Was that 20? 65. Another this one that's 80. Roughly 85,000 for this, on top of the 50,000. So that's 135,000. All right, now permits. I need permits for all this digging and laying of pipe for a rework of electrical and plumbing, of water, electrical, and plumbing. How much? All right, so you need about 3,500 for the total permit. And then, let's see, we got all that down. You need zoning, plumbing, electrical, and water tap. All right, now, furniture. I want to modernize the furniture to reflect a nightclub for high-class individuals, because he said he didn't want the YNs there. He wanted the higher upperclassmen people. How much? Oh, furniture and top shelf alcohol. All right. So these are be my pretty much upfront costs, because you need to have these upfront before you can start selling and everything. You need to pay this out upfront. Everything here is upfront costs. It's not about operations and everything. No operating costs. Nothing about paying employees. Nothing like that. So we're gonna have lounge chairs. All right. So for modernization, 4,000, 600, 800, 500. Okay. Lighting. So it's 75,000. Okay. Good. So 145,000. Sounds about right. We're hitting about 300,000 right now. Now, I plan to hire employees like security, bartenders, ladies that offer jello shots, and promoters for spreading the word, for advertising. give me a total cost of all my of everything up front to get this operation running, and my costs per night to operate it. Now, this will give us a total number of what he's going to need up front and what he's going to need to operate it. So then we'll know exactly what's going on. Total upfront cost to get open budget. 300,000. That's the total. That's the high end of that. Okay, if he's smart, he's going to go for the high end. Now, nightly operating cost, the burn rate, assuming the high volume night, 8 to 2:30. Here's what it costs to keep the lights on the staff. All right, 480 to 640, 120 to 150, 80 to 100, 2 to 500. Overhead and inventory per night, 500 to 100, 1500, 150 to 250. Total nightly costs, 3,100 per night. So you look at 300,000 to get it going, and you're looking at 3,100 to keep it operating, to keep it up open. And this dude's going to be betting his A off until he gets this done, because this guy is not going to make it. Yeah, nope. And homie, I'm not even going to talk about this here. I'm just talking about the building. I doubt this is going to work. Nope, I don't see it. He didn't really consider like everything up front. He thinks he's going to be able to grab an escrow account and be able to do it, but he needs to start somewhere. He's got to start breaking ground. He's got to start doing all this stuff. But that quick claim title doesn't sound right. It just seems like there's something wrong, y'all. I don't know what this guy's got planned, but what he's been saying about this, what he plans on doing like everything in the third, not one direction of like, this is my vision. It's like, oh, I plan on doing this and doing this and doing this and then doing this and then doing this and then doing this and then doing this. And it's like, it could be anything, bro. But what is your business? What is the overall thing you're doing at that building? But that quick claim thing don't sound right to me. It's $10,000 and it's a quick claim. People can take that building from him now. He's got 5 years to get this thing going. Why do you need so long? You ain't got the freaking mindset for this. You're the dude who's the bottom floor. You're on the ground level, bro. You're trying to do stuff that's in the top floor of a corporation. You don't have the mind to oversee a project like this. You don't have the experience to oversee a project like this. You need to hire someone that has project management experience, that knows how to work with the budget they're given and being able to address situations when they come up and to navigate through those things without issue. If you don't have that person in your pocket, and don't call me, bro, I ain't available for you, because I ain't gonna do that shit. You could have had that thing yourself if you would have just went to school for project management. You would have known how to do this. I already know how to do something like this. I ain't gonna cheat you. I ain't gonna show you anything. You're gonna have to learn how to do this on your own. And it's gonna be an epic walkthrough to see it fall, because that's hilarious. Again, y'all guys know that there's an itch coming, and you know what we gotta do.
I gotta get back to betting. I gotta get back to betting. I gotta get back to Betty.